Hey everyone, I'm Mike from theparkprodigy.com, and on today's video, I'm going to break down some of the best tips and tricks that you need to know about when staying at Disney's Pop Century Resort. So if you're watching this video, you might already have a hotel stay booked, or you might be thinking about booking a stay at Disney's Pop Century. And if you want to make sure that you hit the ground running when you get down to Walt Disney World, just be sure to watch this video, as there was a lot of little hidden things that I picked up on my stay that I think you need to know about, such as the best buildings to try to request for rooms, making sure that you do get one of the newly renovated and upgraded rooms at this hotel, making sure that you understand where the food is, how to get to the Disney Skyliner. All of these things are so important when staying at Pop Century, and I'm about to break down all of them. So without any further ado, let's go get started. Thank you again so much for checking out this video. Like I said, I'm about to break down some of the best tips and tricks when visiting Disney's Pop Century Resort, which is one of the most popular hotels in all of Walt Disney World, and in my opinion is the most popular Disney value resort. So there's a lot of things that I personally just picked up on my stay at Disney's Pop Century that I think you need to know about. I've never done a tips and tricks video for a hotel, but I actually thought there were so many little moving parts at this hotel that we needed to create this one. So let's see how it goes, and hopefully you find it helpful. Jumping in and starting with tip number one, and this might be the most important one right off the bat. At the time of the recording of this video in August of 2025, Disney is in the process of updating and renovating all of the rooms at Disney's Pop Century Resort. So that means it's not guaranteed if you're visiting in the next couple of weeks, next month or two, it's not guaranteed that you will get a renovated room. So just be sure, if you do want to try to have the best chance of getting an upgraded and renovated room, what I would suggest is do not do mobile check-in. I would go and I would actually check in at the hotel, and upon checking in, you can request to possibly get a upgraded and renovated room. Now, the cast member that I spoke with did tell me that they plan to have all the rooms upgraded. He said late 2025, early 2026. So you could see there's going to be a couple months here where you do have to keep an eye if it's that important to you. Another thing I would say is if you're using a travel agency or vacation planner like the Park Prodigy, make sure that you ask your travel agent to call up and leave a note on the room reservation. I still would always check in at the hotel and have that discussion face to face. Sometimes the cast members might not read the notes, so I still think that's your safer bet if you want the upgraded renovated room. Another thing that I personally just picked up, I actually made this mistake: always get a room key, always get a hard room key, as Disney does do a tremendous job of kind of marketing and saying that their app will allow you to open up the rooms, right? However, I have just found the app to be extremely wonky, and we have not had good experiences on our last stay at Pop Century. We walked all the way to our hotel room. I went to open up the door with our My Disney Experience app, and it did not work. So we had to walk all the way back. My wife was not happy. So always get a hard room key. It's just, in my opinion, makes everything go that much smoother. Okay, over to the room selection. So the way that Disney breaks down the rooms at Pop Century and really all of their value resorts is they'll have the regular standard room, but then they also have the preferred room. So what the preferred rooms actually mean at Disney's Pop Century is that they're going to be closer to the pools, dining, and the hotel's main transportation center. So they're a little bit closer to everything. So the rooms and the buildings that you really want to keep an eye out for are going to be buildings 1 and 3 in the 50 section, buildings 4 and 5 in the 60 section, and buildings 6 and 10 in the 70 section. Now, you do have to pay a premium for a preferred room. So if you have a standard room right now, and if you're getting ready for your vacation, maybe it's not too late to go speak with your travel agent and see, hey, can we upgrade to a preferred? I actually went and looked at the difference of the pricing. And so a preferred room for the dates that I looked was $241 per night, and the standard room was $206. So definitely, that's not a small chunk of change. What is that? I believe, if my math is correct, that's going to be about $35 per night. So on a 7-night stay, that definitely can add up. You have to make that decision for yourself. Is it worth it or not? Like I said, though, if it is worth it, then you can look at a map online and try to figure out, well, maybe you can suggest or try to get yourself into a specific building. Upon check-in, you can make that request. I will say this: Disney will never guarantee, an upgraded, renovated room. They'll never guarantee a specific building, but you can always try, and that's why videos like this are helpful. Okay, over to the next one. As you're making that decision, do I want a preferred room? Do I not? Don't forget that Disney does have 3 pools on site at Pop Century. So really, no matter where you are, there's always going to be a pool close by. Now, what I would say is the hippity dippity pool, which is really in the middle, is going to be, the more lively and the pool where most guests will probably want to spend their time. But on the flip side, if you're an introvert like me, you can take advantage of the quieter pools, which are typically going to be the bowling pool or the computer pool. Over to my next tip and trick, and I kind of just jumping around a little bit, but when we start to look at that preferred price, right, per night at $241, well, if you're kind of staying at Pop Century to try to take advantage of the Disney Skyliner, what I would say is at that price point, for a couple bucks more, you might be able to go and stay at either the Dolphin or the Swan. Now, of course, these hotels are not official Disney hotels. However, I just love looking at the numbers, and I have actually done a couple of recent videos on the Dolphin and the Swan, so you could be sure to go check those out. But at this price point, you're not that far off. Now, those hotels are not Disney official, and so they don't come with the Disney theming that you get at Pop Century, right? And they also come with a nightly fee. So it's going to be a couple bucks more. But again, if you're staying at this hotel specifically for the Skyliner because you want easy access to Epcot and Hollywood Studios, it doesn't get any easier than walking from the Dolphin or the Swan. So I just wanted to make sure to make note of that. Okay, over to the next tip. One of the things that I don't like, right, is that the hotel rooms at Pop Century, the entrance to the rooms are outside. However, on the flip side, there are some pros that come with that. And some of it is that you can add Disney magic to your room by bringing decorations, and you can add it to your window with clings and banners or even lights. Now, we saw Toy Story 1 when we were walking by, and we were like, oh, that's really cute. That's clever. And so you can add that. It can kind of add to the magic for your kids. If you're celebrating anything, bring, happy birthday posters, and you can kind of hang them in your window so everyone knows that you're celebrating. Okay, over to the next tip and trick, and this is kind of one on the downside, but I would say make sure that you consider bringing earplugs, or make sure you have the Noise Machine app downloaded on your phone if you do have a trouble sleeping at night with noise. So Pop Century definitely can be on the noisier side. So if you're a light sleeper, definitely, like I said, bring earplugs. It's not even just outside, it's room to room. It can be a little bit noisy, so just something that you do need to be prepared for and keep in mind. Okay, but speaking of the rooms, one of the things that we loved was you can stream movies from your room. The other thing that I actually just learned this, and I'm kind of embarrassed, you can stream movies really from any streaming platform that you can connect. So I always thought it was only Disney Plus, and I was like, oh, Disney's racking in the cash. They're making you download Disney Plus to stream movies in your hotel room. But we were able to stream Amazon Prime on our last day. So just something to keep in mind if you're, back in the hotel hanging out at night, you want to stream a movie, you do have access to that now. Another thing that we really loved about Pop Century is that it's just a 10-minute walk from Art of Animation. So you're pretty much sharing campuses and you're sharing the Disney Skyliner. So if you want to go and just check out Art of Animation, all the cool, Disney characters that they have built around that hotel, go and check out the food court or the shopping, you are just a 10-minute walk away. And of course, that brings us to the Disney Skyliner. So Pop Century does share the Skyliner with Art of Animation. So what does that mean? Well, again, it's one of the biggest pros, right? You have the Skyliner. However, one of the biggest things you have to be prepared for are some longer lines. Now, the lines for the Skyliner can be long, specifically in the morning. So give yourself some extra time to make sure you get over to Epcot or Hollywood Studios, and if you're trying to do the early entry. And I would say same thing at night. Be patient. You are going to have to wait a little bit to get back at night. And the one thing that wasn't crazy about Pop Century, or really Art of Animation for that matter, is that you do have to kind of transfer on the Skyliner. So it's not a straight shot, but if you're prepared, you'll be smooth sailing. Okay, over to the next tip and trick. And near that Skyliner area and kind of right behind the hippity dippity pool there is a small splash pad area for your kids. And another really cool thing that I did really enjoy was that Disney has a specific area to pick up scooters, to drop off your bags if you're going, if you're trying to wait for your room to be ready, and to pick up groceries throughout your stay, which is, I thought it was just very, very convenient. It's not as confusing as some of the other Disney hotels where you're kind of just, you're not sure if you're picking up groceries. Do I pick it up at the front desk? Do I not? Like, what's the deal? They have a specific area, which I thought was great. It's sort of in the back. So if you're checking in, if you walk to the right of the main, doors that open up, it's kind of right hidden in the back over there. The other thing to keep in mind too is that there is guest laundry on site. So if you spills, stuff like that with your kids, is always something, there's going to be laundry on site for you to take advantage of. And I know I'm jumping around a lot, but these again, like I said, these are just the tips and tricks that I picked up from my personal stay, firsthand experience. Jumping back over to the Skyliner, I would say this is not the best hotel if you're afraid of heights, as the only way to get over to Epcot or Hollywood Studios, unless it's raining or there's thunderstorms, is the Disney Skyliner, which is going to be in the air. So, if you're just crazy about Pop Century and you're trying to figure out a way around it, you maybe could pay out of pocket to do Uber or Lyft to get to the parks. But just you have to keep that in mind. The Skyliner is up in the air. Okay, over to the next one. And just like I said, this you are staying at official Disney hotels, so there are some benefits and pros that come with that. One of the pros you don't want to miss out at is going to be the movies under the stars. And also, one of the things that I think families might not think about is I think Pop Century has the best arcade on Disney property to keep your kids busy. Another hidden tip and trick that we learned firsthand is there are massage chairs within the arcade that you do have to pay for them. However, if you want your kids to play some games and you kind of just get to relax a little bit, check out the massage chairs within the arcade. Over to the next tip and trick. Don't forget that Pedals is a very popular bar kind of right outside of the Hippity Dippity pool, but we were also pleasantly surprised that they had mixed drinks and specialty coffees within Classic Hall. And speaking of Classic Hall, this brings me over to my next tip and trick. Don't forget to make sure you have the My Disney Experience app downloaded. You can utilize the mobile ordering for quick meals. And like I said, also you can consider walking over to Art of Animation for additional dining options. We got on our last day, we got the sesame chicken, we got a bacon cheeseburger, but also one of the things my wife loves is the cookies and cream cupcake. And I also tried the oatmeal cookie sandwich, which I thought was amazing. Another great tip and trick that I see online constantly is you can order a cheese pizza when you get back at night and bring your cheese pizza to the room as sort of a late night snack. Of course, the dining has to be open, but it's just something to kind of keep in mind. But another one to kind of keep in mind within the same kind of topic is that there is no microwave within the room. So there is a small fridge that you can, like I said, if you want to order some groceries, you can take advantage of the small fridge, but there is no microwave. So you would have to walk over to the main dining hall if you wanted to take advantage of the microwave. And another cool thing that I really enjoyed about the everything pop shopping and dining area is that there was some like couches and sitting area inside for guests to hang out maybe on check-in day or check-out day as you're waiting for your flight time. And speaking of flight time, Disney's value resorts now have, if you're flying Southwest, you can actually check in at your hotel and kind of have your bags kind of just go and like checked in for the flight, which I thought was really cool. And last but not least, if you love taking pictures, don't forget to bring your phone. I guess you won't. The kids these days are doing like the throwaway cameras, but you're going to want to take pictures all around Pop Century as there's oversized memorabilia, oversized, Disney iconic characters all throughout this property that you will want to take pictures in front of. But that is it, everyone. Those are some of my tips and tricks that I picked up that you need to know about if you're staying at Disney's Pop Century Resort. I really, really hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, just be sure to like and subscribe to our channel, as I have a lot more similar videos about Walt Disney World coming out in the coming weeks to get you as prepared as possible. And if you do need help planning an amazing Disney World vacation, just be sure to go check out our website, theparkprodigy.com, or you can fill out the questionnaire below to get pricing from me and my team on an amazing Disney vacation as well. Right now, we're giving up to $250 back in a Disney gift card. So definitely be sure to just go check out our website if you want to learn more about that. But I think that's all the time we have for today. Thank you all again so much for checking out this video. And until next time, I will talk to you soon.